And here we go. Let me just put it right here to your webpage, and we're streaming live. So, hello everyone in the internet's land, world, wherever you are. Thank you for joining us. My name is Nelson. I'm the host of the Webflow Workshops. Yeah, today is an awesome day. It's the first day of March 2016. Welcome everyone. This is gonna be fun. We're doing a little bit different things with our workshops going forward. Just getting some little bit of announcements out right now. We're going to have our usual new format, which we've been doing, which is with guests, and then half of it guests, and then the other half just regular Webflow Q&A. But every other week it'll be guests, and in between those weeks, so alternating weeks, will be actually back to the old format where we're gonna build websites from scratch, show off new features and demo things, and so everyone gets something out of it. So we get inspirational speakers, and we also get demos. So we're going to do that. Thank you again to all the people who are coming back to the stream. We have a lot of regulars coming back, so thank you so much. And today our guest is Greg. He is the, I guess, self-proclaimed Squarespace Guru.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I didn't start off as a self-proclaimed Squarespace guru. That kind of got placed on me, but I accepted it. I was like, what the
Ah.
heck? Let's
Oh,
roll with
okay. So who gave you that title? Who bestowed you with that title?
it. Well, when I first started using Squarespace, I was a member of several different mastermind groups, and I was always talking about Squarespace. People got sick of hearing about it. And so it was, kind of a teasing thing at first. It's like, oh, here's the Squarespace guru. Let's see what he has to say. It was in a WordPress type of mastermind group. So anyway, people, that just became a thing. They called me Squarespace guru. And at first I thought, well, only Squarespace employees should be called gurus. But after a while, I just gave in. I was like, what the heck? Let's just roll with
This mastermind group, were you guys like Jedis? You have to wear robes and hoods and everything, and like, hello, welcome to another web design mastermind meetup. How are you today?
it. Pretty much. That was pretty much what it was like.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so Greg is he's a freelance web designer, and he's been doing it for over 8 years, right?
Right. Yeah.
And during that whole 8 year career, well, I mean, this ongoing 8 year career, you've probably found a lot of tools to work with, and every day you're probably fine tuning which ones to use, which ones you should just toss out the window, and which ones you should just, keep and let it help you out. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Before we get into that, though, I'm interested, like, how did you start learning to become a web designer? Like, why did you say, you know what, I'm done with the regular 9 to 5, I'm going to freelance as a web designer, which is a weird and crazy industry?
Yeah, totally. I had a mortgage foreclosure business in Arizona, and we went around and made sure that people who were being foreclosed on were actually out of their house. And so it was kind of a sticky situation type of deal. And so I was trying to get more contracts for my business. And so I thought, it'd be nice to have a website. So I started to research how to do that. And I actually got a few quotes from web design businesses that were in like the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so I was like, nah, there's no way I'm paying for this. So, I had just bought a Mac right around that time. And so, I was playing around one day and found iWeb.
iWeb.
And so I'm like, I wonder what iWeb does. So let's check this thing out.
What's iWeb?
And so lo and behold, man, it's like a web design app. And so I was like, wow, okay, let's try this thing. So I built a website for my business and loved it, man. I just had so much fun doing that. And so I built a couple of other websites for friends on iWeb.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the release, I think it was Mountain Lion or Lion, I can't remember
Mm-hmm.
which, but Apple pretty much said we're not going to have iWeb as a thing anymore, so they just stopped shipping iWeb with the new Macs. So I realized, like, oh man, I need to come up with another solution, or else my website is pretty much going to die here pretty soon. So that's when I started looking into a few other things like WordPress. I ended up going with Dreamweaver and teaching myself how to code. Um,
Now, was that hard for you to teach yourself code? Because like a lot of designers, and a lot of designers, there's a huge gap in between, right?
right, yeah,
Between designer and
yeah,
developer.
totally. Man, it was so hard, yeah. But I realized, like, I just love this whole design thing so much, and uh, I decided I'm going to move out of this mortgage foreclosure thing. I kind of, sold that business and decided, let's do this thing full time. Why not? I'm having so much fun doing this. And
Nice.
so I got a few clients, and they needed some things that I had no idea how to do. And so I realized, okay, I'm going to have to, if I'm going to do this as a career choice, I really need to know how to do things, because I
Yeah.
would have a client that would say, hey, can you do this? And I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And then I would go home and I'm like, yes, how do I do this? So
Thank
yeah, I
you,
went to
search
college.
engines.
Yes, Google was my friend, definitely.
I think it's
So I,
everyone's friend as a web designer and developer. I mean, as like,
absolutely.
how do I make these things? Oh, thank you.
Yes. Oh, that's called a modal. Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, so I went to a local college and enrolled in some web design classes. So I
Hmm.
learned, HTML, CSS, um, and even learned VB programming, which was a nightmare.
Whoa,
Um,
I don't even
yeah,
know
so
that. Wow.
Visual Basic, it's like what
Yeah.
Microsoft uses for their apps. It's just
Yeah.
terrible. But so started using Dreamweaver, and really that kind of led to a obsessive search for something easier to use,
Hmm.
and so that's kind of where I ran into Squarespace.
Nice, nice. And so, what really fascinates you about web design? Because web design isn't for everyone. It's a crazy new industry. Even though we know it's been here for over a decade, it's still such a infantile industry. It's so young. So why do you still keep doing it?
It's so much fun creating something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Because really, I mean, you're not taking any raw materials like a big chunk of metal or pieces of wood and making something. Like, you're literally creating something out of nothing,
Yeah.
and you can create a piece of value, some intellectual property that can generate a cash flow. And for me, that's so much fun. If it's for my own business or if it's for a client's world, it's so rewarding to be able to create something and to have potentially millions of people see it and then throw money at you as a result of that thing that you've made.
They're actually
So
throwing money at
it's
your
really
face,
cool.
right?
Yes, just like this, like that, just like Jimmy Menzel.
Oh no. Oh no. All
Maybe
right.
not.
So, before we move on, I think your levels are kind of low. One of our audience members saying too low. Can you turn it up a bit? Let's see.
Audio or video?
Audio. Turn it up a bit.
Okay, how's that?
That's better. Yeah, that's
Is
really
that
much
better?
better. Okay.
Okay,
All
I'll
right.
just move up closer. Yeah, here we
No.
go.
Okay, that'll work. That'll work. All right. So, now that you're a freelancer and you've been doing it for over 8 years, so that's really awesome that you still have this business going and you're always gaining clients. But how do you make sure that your head doesn't explode with all the things you have to do? Because, like, an in-house designer, the the financials, the project management, the account, taking care of the clients, is all done by different people in an in-house team. Whereas I'm guessing you do it all on your own, right?
Right. Yeah.
So,
Totally.
what tools do you use currently, to make this all happen? So, it doesn't seem like you're going crazy. And so what are these tools that you're using that doesn't make you go crazy?
Well, I've got a couple of steps that I follow, and I use different tools at various stages. But in the pre-sale stage, I use Evernote to help me plan my blog posts and all my inbound marketing initiatives, my various ads that I have running. I kind of plan out the copy and all my social media content and things like that. I use Evernote for that type of planning pre-sale stage. I use Sketch for all my graphic design stuff to create all my assets. And then once I actually have a lead generated based on some of the other inbound marketing things that I've been doing, then I use a really cool app called 17 Hats.
Oh, hold on. 17 hats? I've never heard of it.
17 Hats. Dude,
Okay.
oh my gosh, it's amazing.
All right.
The design of it is actually kind of terrible, to be honest. But the functionality and what you can do with the app is fantastic. It's kind of like a CRM, a customer relationship manager,
Okay.
mixed with a project manager type of app, mixed with an invoicing app, mixed with a legal document type of e-sign type of app.
Oh, nice.
So it's really, really nice. So now what I do is inside of 17 Hats, they have a lead capture type of deal. So you can create a form and embed it on your website, and people, when they fill it out, their information automatically comes into 17 Hats, into a little profile.
Wow.
And so you can create all sorts of questions and radio buttons and check boxes and stuff to kind of help you formulate, pre-qualify the lead pretty much. And you can create all these templates. So if you have certain emails that are always going out, you can set up these templates. And they've got a thing called a workflow. So if you have certain things that you want to do, you can set up this workflow, and it'll help you make sure that you send the quote out before you send out an invoice. And then when you're ready, you can set out the invoice, and it'll automatically have the client view the contract and then e-sign the contract, and then they can view the invoice, and they can pay it all online. And it's just amazing. I just love it so much.
Yeah. Okay, so this is your go-to tool to make sure that your head stays on straight. This is really
Right,
awesome.
yeah, totally.
Oh, I never knew
It's
about
way
this.
awesome.
Yeah.
So what you can do, like, let's say you have a lead that comes in. Maybe you found someone at a networking meeting or a mastermind group or a meetup or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you've got their information, and you can put it in there. Okay, I'm going to follow up with them next Tuesday at 10 o'clock. It'll put that on your calendar, and then you'll get a little alert. And so you can call them, and you can record notes as to how your call went. You can email them, and everything stays just within their profile, within 17 Hats. And so you'll never lose track of your leads. You never lose track of what you're supposed to do next with that client or potential client. And so everything stays buttoned up, and nothing falls through the cracks. You stay on top of everything. Yeah,
Cool.
and it's nice because you can clear your head.
Yes.
You can rely on that, and you don't have to try and juggle 1,000 things all at once.
Nice, nice. And so now, when it comes to web design tools, we already know that you're the Squarespace Guru, but you actually chimed in to the Webflow forums when people were talking about what are the differences between Squarespace and Webflow. And, personally, I know the differences, but I also know that there's a place, there's a time and place for everything, and there's a time and place for Squarespace and Webflow. And so,
Yeah.
how did you learn about Webflow, and where does that fit into your workflow now?
Yeah, for sure. So, I was kind of there's limits with Squarespace.
Yes.
And when you get to a point to where you're doing client work and the client says, I like the way the website looks, but what if we could do something a little bit more custom? In Squarespace, to do that, you're going to either have to turn on dev mode, which is an absolute nightmare. You have to be a programmer, a JavaScript programmer, to know what you're doing inside of the Squarespace dev platform. Or you have to pretty much be a CSS ninja and be able to hack into the template and figure out how to move stuff around and do a lot of different things. And for most designers, that's just not feasible. That's not something that you want them to be doing. So for those type of clients, I started looking for something else. And so I found Webflow.
Mm-hmm.
And, I tried it out and it was really cool. And at that point, when I tried it out, there was no CMS. And so I was like, this is not going to work for my clients. So I didn't look at it again for a while. And then Vlad sent me an email and said, hey, is there any way we can have a conversation about this? And it just it was gone. Like I just forgot about it and nothing ever happened again. And then I got the email from Webflow that says, hey, we have a CMS now. And so I was like, sweet, let's check this out. Let's see what this is all about. And so started using it, I ran a couple of projects through it, and I was just blown away. I was like, wow, you've got to be kidding me. This is so awesome. And so, started running more projects through it. And so, I really kind of told myself, okay, clients that aren't going to manage their own website, if they're not going to get in and be needing to create new landing pages and move things around on the page, for those types of clients, I'm running everything through Webflow now because my workflow, I can create a website so much quicker in Webflow than I can in Squarespace. And so with those clients that need to maybe post a blog post or change the text or something like that, they can just go in through the editor and do it so much easier in Webflow than they can in Squarespace. But the clients that, they just need me to set up something, and then they can go in and move blocks around and make new pages and things like that, then I'll run that through Squarespace.
Yeah.
But most of the client work that I do, they're not hiring a professional so they can go in and do something on the back end.
Yeah.
They're hiring a professional so they don't have to do anything and they don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
So for those clients, it's all been Webflow ever since the CMS came out.
Nice. So, will you be buying Webflow.guru or something sometime soon?
No, you guys do a slam dunk job with your training materials and your courses and things. So there's not a market for me in that. And I reached a point in my freelance career that I was getting a bunch of clients that I didn't want.
Oh, that's a really good problem to have, and for a freelancer, you're no longer in that stage of, I need the job so much so I can pay my bills, but now you're at the point where like, you know what, yeah, I'm going to pass along. That's really good.
Yeah. Everybody needs to reach that point because you don't want to be 65 years old chasing that next project. It's just not a life to live. But I got to that point to where people were wanting me to do stuff on WordPress, and they were wanting me to get into their Drupal template and make changes and all that stuff. And I'm like, there is no way in this world I'm going to touch that stuff. And I was using a lot of time. I was burning a lot of time processing that type of emails and quoting people for projects I really didn't want, but I was quoting at like triple the price. So if I did get the job, then it would be worth it. Yeah. So I realized, like, okay, I'm going to have to do something to give me the type of client that I want. And so that's when I started looking at all the opportunities with Google searches and what people are looking for in their Google searches. And I found that there were tons and tons of people searching for Squarespace Guru in Google. And there was literally no websites competing for that search phrase. And so, I was like, WebEdu a few years ago released this study that said like less than 2% of all do-it-yourself website projects actually ended up in a published website. Less than 2%. And so, all these do-it-yourself platforms like Squarespace and Wix and Weebly and One-in-One and, GoDaddy's Website Tonight, people were getting onto those platforms, but they were never actually publishing anything.
Interesting.
Because they got to that point and they thought, well, I'll just use one of these do-it-yourself options. And then they jumped in and they realized, oh, wow, there's a lot more to web design than I thought there was.
Yeah.
And so then they started searching for help, or they wanted to hire someone. So, the hipsters, or the type of crowd that Squarespace attracts, that was more along the lines of people that I wanted to talk to on a regular basis. So that's why I initially created the Squarespace Guru website, was to attract those type of leads. And so while, most of my projects now are done on Webflow, almost all of my leads come from people that have tried out Squarespace and weren't able to get a website online. And so then, I talk to them, figure out what they need, and then most of the time end up running them through Webflow.
Nice. Well, you found your niche, so congrats on that and finding, a property that was looked for. So you snatched it right up. So good job on that. But one last question: what are your some of the greatest challenges that you face day to day as a freelance web designer, and how do you grow above them?
I mean, there's so many challenges. Working from home, there's just tons of challenges. But something specific that we can talk about in this conversation, it's all the tools, because I use Evernote, I use 17 Hats, I use Basecamp to communicate with my clients and make sure that everybody's on the same page with this and that. And, I use Sketch for designing things and creating different assets. So there's lots of different apps that I use. Not to mention email, like Apple Mail, Calendar. There's just tons and tons of apps, and I always have all these windows open. So the biggest challenge for me is just keeping all of this stuff straight. And 17 Hats helps me with my leads, but there's still a lot of other things that I'm doing that I'm trying to keep straight. So it's just navigating all these different apps and trying to keep everything in line. That's the biggest challenge.
And is that what you're trying to go for? When I noticed in your portfolio you have something called Project Panda, and is that something you're trying to build to get all this together to fit your needs and maybe someone else's needs?
Yeah, exactly right. So, as a freelancer, you have email, you have calendar, you have your invoicing system that you use to bill your clients. You have your project management methods, whether that's Google Docs, whether that's Evernote, whether that's Basecamp. Then you also have your chat systems. So like Slack, if you want to use Slack with maybe your copywriter or your developer, if you need some custom widgets made or whatever. Or if you're your client, depending on their tech level, they might use a chat-based system. So instead of having 10 different things open on your computer, why not just have it in one app? And so that's what I've created Project Panda for, is to kind of keep all of that into one window.
It seems like a huge project, so good luck on that one.
I don't know if it's, right now it's in the the conceptual stage. I'm still iterating on things and designing things out. And, ultimately I see this as something that I'll probably end up selling.
Ah, okay.
to someone else. But yeah, I'm fleshing it out right now, and um, there's no way anyone should ever work by the hour as a freelance web designer.
Mm-hmm.
But you still need to track all the time how much time I'm spending on this, project A versus project B or
Hmm.
whatever. So there's also that component built in.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, good luck on that one. Yeah, dude. And if final things before we get into the next segment, and while we're waiting for your Webflow links, show us what you got. Show us what you got. Give us some Webflow links that you're working on, and Greg and I will quickly critique it and give you our first thoughts. But yeah, don't forget to check out Greg at letgreg.com or his Squarespace blog, sqsp.guru. He also has a podcast. Just search for Squarespace Guru Podcast. Um, and also prjpanda.com if you're interested in about that tool that he's building. I'm guessing from scratch.
Yeah, it's a
Wow.
Swift app.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. So it'll be only on Apple, yeah?
Yeah, it'll be web based as well, but
Oh,
mainly it'll be targeted to Mac users.
okay, cool, cool. All right, let's get into some sites that people are working on, and let's see who did this one. Oh yeah, Michael did. Michael. So here, let me share my screen so you can see what I'm talking about. Do 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 do. That one. Share. Yes. All right. Can you see my screen?
Got it.
All right. Let me refresh this and see. Okay. So no intro animations. Very, very clean. Yeah. Your thoughts so far?
What's the American flag do? If you click on that, does that like toggle over to a different language?
I'm guessing. Oh, wow, that's huge. Okay, so it is a language thing, but this is a work in progress, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My original or my initial thought on that is to, instead of making the user make a choice on what language they want, maybe use something like
The
what's it called?
redirect?
Well, something like a localize me, like
Yeah.
localize.js. It's a JavaScript app that you can. It's just a couple of lines of code that you put on the back end,
Mm-hmm.
and it will automatically determine the user's default language, and will adjust the language on the screen based
Mm.
on that. Um,
Cool.
so that would be a better experience, I would think. But that's still cool to give someone the option for that.
Mm-hmm. I've noticed that they put a drop down menu of some sort.
Like a little reveal tray there.
Yeah, I would put a down arrow instead of a circle because the circle doesn't
Yeah, that's what I
indicate
would
to
do.
me anything. It doesn't tell the user at first what is it going to do when I click on this, and
Yeah,
that comes to iconography, so when you see a stop sign, the stop sign is a certain shape, and so even if you can't read the word stop, you understand that shape means stop your car. So maybe a down arrow or something. But ooh, look at that.
a nice little. One thought on that as well is you might even want to consider hiding that behind a hamburger button, the little drop
Okay.
down. If you put a hamburger button over here in the top left corner, I think everybody knows that that means to reveal some additional navigation. So if you put that behind a navigate or a hamburger menu and have everything slide over, I think that would be a predictable experience.
Agreed. I like this right here. I like big type, you know.
Yeah, same here. I like
This
that.
Good job on this one. Okay. Oh, okay. I was
Yeah, take the
expecting some sort
grid.
of hover effect on each one, but oh, wait. Okay, so I don't know what's happening.
Maybe it's not. Oh, there we go.
It's probably
Maybe only a
autoplay.
couple.
Probably autoplay or something.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Interesting.
Not a huge fan of that. I would rather have that display the text when you hover over the square.
Really cool. Really cool prototype. Great job. All right, let's go to
Yeah,
the
that's
next
cool.
one. From Felix. Let's see here. Felix. All right. Here we go. I don't like to translate. I like to keep it whatever language that they have. So
Yeah,
pretty
me too.
cool.
Yeah, that was great.
I like
love that.
love the gradient that he chose.
Mhm.
He or she. Okay. Oh, hello, Felix. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it looks great. I love the cards.
Oh yeah, I like the slow when it's kind of slow in a fade in rather than fast. I more appreciate that one.
Yeah, there's some small little effects. Yeah, I like that. Looks good.
Okay, so this
Yeah,
one
digging that.
nice. Okay, good job. Does he have any other pages? Okay, so it's all just one pager. Great job, Felix. Keep it up, man.
Yeah, looks great.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the next one. Dallas Swim by Zach. Ooh. Okay.
Oh, very nice.
Ready to
So
start.
is that an animated GIF on the back, or is that
Let's see
is that a
here.
video?
Let's see here. I'm gonna view page source, and we got a video.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Great job with that one. I like how simple it is. It's straight to the point. It's the background video is not too jarring. It just adds a texture to it. And it's straight to the point. Like, hey, swim. Swimming classes, sign up.
Yeah, that's cool. The only thing I would do different is with under the welcome call to action, the buttons there. I would probably make those maybe a ghost button initially, and then give it a background color when you hover on it. That's the only thing I would do different.
If you guys aren't
But I
familiar,
love the way you.
if you guys aren't
go
familiar
ahead.
with the term ghost button, I think you're talking about like an outline button, like at the top right. How
Right.
it starts outlined. Yeah, I agree with that one because the blue is too much. It gets lost in the water.
Yeah. Yeah. It does. So if you have a white ghost button, that would look pretty good there.
Okay, cool. Very clean.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's good.
Great job. All right. Let's see here. Anyone else? Okay, I think that's about it for today. Yeah, thank you so much, Greg. Anything else we should know about before I let you go?
No, this was great. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. Love Webflow. Love
Oh.
everything that you guys are doing. Keep rocking.
Yay. Thank you so much. And hopefully we see you more on the forums, you know? It would be great to have you as a community member.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right, have a good day. See ya.
Okay. We'll see you.
That was fun. I learned a lot. That's 17 hats. That's interesting. And yeah, you can see that there's always improvement that you can do as for freelancers if you're thinking of building an app or whatnot that brings all the other apps together. You know, freelancers can really use that help. So if you're thinking of building one, build it because you never know, it might take off. But if you want to stay as a web designer, hey, that's always fun too. But it's super tough because it's such a young industry. But you know what? It's fun anyways, right? What's next? VR's next. Figure it out. Anyways, thanks again to Greg. That was really fun and insightful. But now, oh my god, I said Squarespace because he's a Squarespace Guru. Webflow questions. Do you have any Webflow questions that are on the top of your mind? Anything you want to know about what's coming soon? Which, you know what? I'll tease a little at the end of this show. But yeah, get your questions in now. Let's see here. What can let me see here. While I'm waiting for your questions, let me see if I can. Here we go. Let's find We'll just use that one. I'll tell you what I'm doing soon. Hold on, please. How big is this? Okay, so I can drag that here. Okay. All right. So, okay, we have one more, Web Cantina. I think we've seen this before, haven't we? Web Cantina. Oh yeah, we have. CMS. Why isn't Webflow the first one? Yeah, this is really good. It's a good resource. A thing I would change, I think I would tighten this up a bit because it feels really big. I think maybe the nav could be something on the left. These cards can be like laid out in a different way. For example, instead of having labels like view page and get this, maybe have just iconography. One type of icon that explains that you're going out to another page, and one iconography icon that says download. That means get this. You know what I mean? So you don't have to label everything. Also, your bottom nav right here. Your bottom nav is your bottom nav is overlaying this, and so it kind of gets lost. See, with these two texts bumping into each other, it gets lost. Oh yeah, in Cover. So if you go to cover.com, wait, was it Cover? coverr.co. This is where you can get free looping background videos for your homepage. And that's one thing I'm trying to set up for you guys right now. Hold on. I want to show you something awesome. Let's see, close that one. Hey Nelson, what about organized files in folders, assets? Yep, that's Asset Manager 2.0. So what we're trying to do is give you guys the option to upload things like PDFs, docs, and whatnot, because, you know, not everything is images on the web, right? So we're getting to that, but I don't have a firm ETA on it, but it'll happen. Andrew is asking anything about affiliate program or ability to upsell clients on the CMS. We don't have an affiliate program anymore, but we do have managed billing coming really soon. And what managed billing is when, for example, you only pay for your own account plan, your personal, pro, or team plan. And then when it comes time to get the hosting subscription, right now you have to pay it out of your own pocket as well, right? So the client would pay you, and then you would pay for the hosting subscription. So soon, when we release managed billing, it's going to be when your client wants hosting, you just send them a nifty link. They would click it, fill out their own payment billing information, and then the payment for the hosting is going to go to them directly. And all you have to do is pay for the account plan. And so, yeah, making it easier for everyone. Let me try to do something real quick. Okay, no problem, Blaze. What is Pager? Let's see here. 17 hats is a good start, but they don't have a way to set up subscription payments yet. When do we have Pager? Lilac? What is Pager? Please tell me. Let's see here. Okay, cool. Alright. Go to my dashboard real quick. Drag this here. Okay. Thanks, Nelson. No problem. Any other payment options coming with that as well? So we go through Stripe.com. That's our payment processor. So whatever they accept, we accept. And I know they just came out with what do they call it, ACH, or like direct to direct link to the bank rather than through a card. And so I'm hoping, I did suggest it to the team, and so maybe I can suggest it again, but maybe taking advantage of that option. So, straight to the bank using a routing number and account number. But yeah, I know that a lot of people have been asking for PayPal, and that's like tough. And I'm not a developer, so I'm gonna say it's tough because I don't know. I don't know the codes. And he plans to incorporate a demo CMS so that, yes, oh, that's a good one. We should make a demo. How would I fix that? Like, what I would do as a demo CMS, I would just, but then, yeah, we need to have a demo CMS. I totally agree. And so to do that right now, you would need to pay for a subscription for the CMS so you can add a content collaborator just to make a dummy account and then just do it. Or you can just use a free page and then log in as yourself, and go to the site settings like this. Go to the site settings like this and then click on the editor button. We'll have to publish it. There we go. And then go to the editor button, and then you can show them the CMS like that if you want. Okay. Yeah. Paginations. Yep, we're working on that. Again, our CMS is still a bit young, and we're trying to hit every point that these already mature CMS platforms have, and so we're working on that. Demo CMS, really, yes, exactly. All right. As I am waiting, I want to show you guys something really cool that I thought was awesome. Okay, let's see here. Nope. There we go. Let's see here. Scrollio down. What? So we're gonna go into this next week. So in our next week's workshop, I'm gonna dive deep into background videos. Yep. No longer do you have to code it yourself or host it yourself. Host your video in a different server. Nope. All in Webflow. See right there? Look at that. So cool. Yeah. So I've been playing around with this on my off time, and it's just super easy now. So join us next week, same time, and we're going to be doing some fun things with the background videos. And also we're going to be talking about dynamic embeds. And with dynamic embeds, and I've already kind of teased this in the last episode, but we'll deep dive into it in the next episode. With dynamic embeds, you'll be able to do things like connect to SoundCloud tracks or connect to Twitter share buttons and dynamic Twitter share buttons and whatnot, where it connects with your dynamic collections. So you have code connecting with your dynamic collections, and then next thing you know, you can do things like e-commerce. Yeah? Okay, so for example, here I'll give you a little example of how dynamic embeds work. So you guys have probably seen this already, where you have custom code, right? And then you can add in for a dynamic collections template. So you can put like script in the script, and then I can be like alert. And again, this is for people who know how to code or can get code snippets and kind of find their way around it. So I'm going to put name and then something like that. So I have my custom code interacting with my dynamic collection. But it's only for dynamic collection templates. It's not for static pages. Until next week when I show you how to do that. Yeah, interesting. All right. So yes. Does that mean both features will be live within a week? I can't give you any ETAs. I can just show you demos, but software, we want to make sure that it comes out clean, and we want to make sure it doesn't have any bugs, So that's very important to us, quality. So we'll get it to you soon. Trademark, as always. Yes. Any other questions for me? Anything you want me to demo? Another thing we released, it's a small one, but it's a biggie, an overlay. And Bartosz was our QA. I think he was the one who suggested this. So yeah, we have color overlays now for your backgrounds. So we have 3 of them. Because it used to be where you would have to go to add gradient and then add 2 points of the same color. And then you have your color overlay. Well, now we made it a little bit faster where you can just click on that button right there, add overlay, and you're good to go. So, yay! Will HTML snippets be in a field in collections? I will show you that next week, but you'll see it's not kind of how you think it is. I know what you're thinking. Like, you would go to collections, and then you would add a new field, and then magically you would have like a code embed. We made it even better than that, where you don't need it. All right, so yeah, next week, super excited to show you guys. What else? Let me scroll up. Oof, great. Ooh, background videos. Yes, it's fun. I replaced my background video for my Comic-Con site, and it's working. It's the cc2.webflow.io. I put Wenflow. There you go. So yeah, that video is playing out of Webflow servers right now. So, yay! And yeah, so Coverco is a really good place to get your free videos. So this will add a lot of. It's like that Dallas swimming site that we just saw. Nice and clean, adds a texture, but doesn't ruin the message. Josh is asking something you mentioned a couple weeks ago when you're going to introduce the other Webflow staff. Would be nice to know more about the team. Okay, we'll have more team members later in the show, but we want to get more outside people into this show so we can learn a lot more. But where's my family? So I've already told you about our support team. You already know Will. Dave, Waldo, and Bartosz and I. But then we have let's see here, for our founders. If you haven't met them, I need to find them. Hold on, let me find the list. Tweet. Let me go to my Twitters. Let me see here. No, I don't have that. Okay. While I'm looking for it, love gradient background feature. Will also like to see CSS effects like black and white and blur as settings. Yep, that would be awesome to have as well. But for now, we have to do it through custom code, which is totally possible. There's a lot of things that, when I first started out with Webflow and experimenting with it, I was trying to do 3D transforms in Webflow, and I had to custom code all of that, And it took a while for them to add it in, but there's a reason why. And then after it got in, it just made total sense. Like, imagine you're trying to explain every type of CSS code of web design in a picture book where you're only using pictures, you're only using icons. That's basically what we're doing. You're putting everything in a GUI to make it simple to use. And so, yeah, we'll get there. When? Everyone say it. Soon. Yes, we'll get there. Let's see here. Where are my lists? I don't understand how to use Twitter anymore. Lists. You aren't a member of... What about the Wong? The Wong LV. Okay, maybe he has the lists. I think I found... Yep, here we go. Alright. Here we go. List members. Alright, so Yoav, awesome engineer. Very, very funny guy. Very soft-spoken guy. We got Rocco. Oh, really cool guy as well. Very adventurous. Nathan. So you met him in the past Webflow Workshop. He's our designer. He actually redid Webflow.com. Awesome. One of the founders, Sergi. Nathan, another engineer for us. John. So whenever you see copy, see tweets or whatnot, emails, blog posts, it's usually him who's helping to keep our brand stay in one path and have the same tone of voice, basically. And that's what content strategists do. So really cool guy. No relation to the composer, if you're asking. But if it was, pretty cool, right? Let's see here. Jeff, really, really good at Rocket League. He is my Rocket League partner. So he's really awesome. I think he's the youngest in our team. Really smart engineer. Vlad, yes, the CEO. And he's also, it says on his Twitter, a Soviet spy. So I don't know what that's about. And then Bryant, another co-founder. And yeah, he's our CTO when it comes to when it comes to a lot of high level type of technical stuff. It's him. Matt Vogels, he also helps with the blogs, but he's also our design and evangelist. I think he's one of the first employees, like employee number 4, and really cool guy. He helps with making the tutorial videos. And that's his voice right there. And you've seen him in past workshops. Dan, another engineer. Soren, I think he's one of our newest engineers. And me. And who you're not seeing, but we did mention in the forums, Natalie, she helps with the office operations. So really cool team, fun team. I think there's a couple people not on this list, but yeah. I would have to think about that. Yeah, Waldo's not on this list. Hey, Waldo, gotta get on this list, man. Alright, anything else? Hi, Nelson. Hi, Sublime. Oh, man, I need to add you guys on Steam. Yes, Rocket League. It's so fun. Alright, last 5 minutes while I'm waiting for the last 2 or 3 questions. Want to say thank you to everyone in the chat room. Thank you so much for joining me this week. Hope to see you next week, same time, Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Set a recurring reminder right now. Just put it in your Google Calendar or what have you and set a recurring reminder that we will be here showing awesome things, talking to awesome people. If you have any account, technical, or billing issues, let us know by sending us an email, support@webflow.com. Or if you have any design issues, ask the community. The community is there to help you out. It's a really great community. Everyone's very helpful. Okay, so go to forum.webflow.com and if you don't know how to use Webflow, ask away right there. If you do know how, help answer some questions, because if we're all helping each other out, it only grows the web design community. Also, we got the help center, help.webflow.com, for frequently asked questions. Just type in your question, like how to host. Oh, okay, this is how I upgrade my site's hosting subscription. So yeah, we got questions answered, and we're adding that every day. Sublime is asking, are you going to do a tutorial on making admin dashboards? That would be cool. Yes, I saw your comment on that. It's on my to-do list, and so I will try to do like a time lapse of that. I love making time lapse. I did one for Mirror's Edge and TechCrunch. Not for them, but like just experimenting on Webflow and redesigning that site inside of Webflow and see how I can do it. So yeah, I will get on that one. Anything else? Oh, follow us. The Twitter account for Webflow is Webflow app, or on Facebook.com/Webflow. And I think that's it. Oh, and myself, if you're interested, just to chat it up with me. My Twitter account is @thepixelgeek. All right, last questions before we go. And thank you again to Greg, the Squarespace Guru, for, trying out Webflow and believing in Webflow, and hopefully, his Project Panda gets on the way. There it is. Project Panda, made in Webflow. Oh yeah. Alright. So while I'm waiting, any information about having SSL with Webflow hosting? Yep, that's a tough one. Again, we want to keep it super secure. You want to keep your site secure, so we don't want to mess up on that. But yeah, look on the forums for more information, but I don't have an ETA on that. Okay, so I'm just doing things here, just doing things, and don't worry about me as we close out the day. Yeah, everyone's just watching that screen. Oops, not that one. That one. Done. All right. See you guys next week. We're going to be talking more about what I just did. So fun. And yeah. Bye-bye.